But we all clearly know that Justin Fields is the better quarterback, not only for the short term, but also for the long term. But if I got some wiggle room, meaning I can go 2 or 3 games with Andy Dalton, then I could maybe do that, much like the Baltimore Ravens did several years ago, Flacco, Lamar Jackson.
What do you need to see to go a couple of games with Dalton? Like,
Can we beat Cincinnati? Okay, can we beat Cincinnati? Is he giving us the best chance to beat Cincinnati?
If he's not mid-game,
come on, I'm probably gonna, because I'm 0-4. The division is 0-4. If I lose to Cincinnati,
it's a blow.
It's a hammer.
Yeah.
But if I win, I'm good. So if he gives me the best chance to win in the second, third quarter, then Andy Dalton is toast to be the backup for the rest of the year.
Jay,
I got to save my
do?
job if I don't have all the information.
Justin Fields needs to play, but, what the hell is Matt Nagy talking about? Andy Dalton produced? Like, I heard Andy Dalton produce. He had 2 pass attempts for over 10 yards. Like, every other quarterback in the damn NFL had 4 or more pass attempts for over 10 yards. So it's more of Matt Nagy's system that bothers me here. I don't understand what Andy Dalton gives you. And I understand you could say, well, it's a revenge game for him to go back to Cincy and, that whole narrative. Play the best player, man. Play the guy that gives you the best chance.
So you would start Justin Fields week 2?
Damn right I would. Why wouldn't you?
I got to say, based on what you both said, I thought, be patient. Justin Fields, make sure you take care of him. Bad offensive line. Let him go through weeks of practice. And what Key said about, the fact is the division's 0-4. And a win against the Bengals, who aren't exactly the gimme they were last year because Joe Burrow's healthy, right? And Jamar Chase. They just beat Minnesota. Okay, but it's not. They're not like they were last year without Joe Burrow.
Understood.
They're a little liver, right? If you lose that game, you really put yourself behind the 8 ball differently than if you win it. So I think right now where I am is I got to play this game by ear. I do start Andy Dalton.
Just play it by ear.
But if they start falling down big, I think I got to put in Justin Fields.
Well, I don't even know that I'm gonna give it the opportunity to fall down big. When you are managing the game and coaching the game, you should be able to see which way the wind is blowing.
I agree with that too. I shouldn't have said big. You're right. You have to keep yourself live in the game.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, why start? What does Andy Dalton give you that Justin Fields does not?
A tackling dummy, so Fields doesn't get hurt.
But you're playing against Cincy.
By the way,
you're playing against Cincy. You're not playing against the Rams.
I get it.
I'm just curious, why you guys, the wiggle room, be patient, allow Andy to start.
Because the Bears' offensive line can make the Cincy defensive front
to move around
look like the '85 Bears.
But who has the feet to move around to combat that?
Yeah. But this is like,
But I was gonna say, not only that, Jay, you are best served when you're young. If you're not 100% ready to look from the sidelines to be able to understand what they're doing. I'm not saying play Andy Dalton the entire game. All I'm saying is keep it as tight as you can keep it. If it starts to look like it's going to slip away, you insert him into the lineup, Justin Fields into the lineup at third quarter, second quarter, whatever it may be, to inject something in the rest of the team. Now, all of a sudden, they fired up. Look, because the players, the veteran guys, they know. You don't have to worry about them. So let's say, for instance, it's 10-6 at the end of one, but it should be 21-6 in favor of Chicago. And all of a sudden, they insert Justin Fields in the lineup. People like JWill Max, all of a sudden, he feels a certain way.
Comes back to life.
Oh, man, Allen Robinson feels a certain way. Because it's like, yes. So you gotta know the pulse of your team when you're making these decisions.
Well, I think that's a really interesting point. You have to know the pulse of your team. What would make you think that Matt Nagy knows the pulse of his team? No, that's real talk. Come on, Max. That's from everything we've seen, from the way they labeled Andy Dalton from the beginning of the year, Key, QB1, to I give them credit, him and Ryan Pace moving up in the draft, getting Justin Fields. But what makes anybody think that he understands how his team and what his team wants?
I have a different,
you know what I mean?
I have a different sense of what Nagy's doing. I give him a little more credit than most people because when your job is on the line, the temptation is to look out for what's for right now. right? Like, let me cover my butt right now and do the thing. Him making the better longer-term plan is actually a good sign from Nagy.
But that's why I say, when you first posed the question to me, it depends on what I've been told. So if I've been told that everything is okay right now, then I feel a certain way. But if I'm being told nothing and a person keeps walking by me at practice and not speaking to me, or just, because owners and general managers do that to you.
You're right. You see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, they don't even say anything to you. They make everything tense. But if I'm being told, let's do this, now I could operate accordingly.
I think that's smart by the Bears, Jay. The Bears have never got quarterback right in my lifetime. You got to get this right. You got to potentially great.
You don't remember Sid Luckman?
But like,
no, that's before my lifetime.
But Max, I get a little bit lost because you're just saying if Andy doesn't start out well, then play Justin Fields. So what's that?
It's less than ideal.
What's that quarter do from a sitting back on the sideline? It's one quarter.
I'll tell you why. Because if it is a revenge game and Andy Dalton can somehow win, he buys Justin Fields another week of what Key was talking about, learning on the sidelines, right? You're just trying to buy him a little time. But I hear you. Listen,
every situation is not ideal. Right. If you go back, and I'll say it again, if you go back and you look at the Baltimore Ravens and Harbaugh was on the hot seat that year, they selected Lamar Jackson at the end when he was supposed to be playing another position, but they said, no, we want him to be a quarterback. They messed around and wiggled him in on some read option stuff or whatever, and the game started to slip away. And they said to themselves, you know what? This dude's not getting ready to get us fired. We're going to go down in flames with Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. They put Lamar in. He led them to the playoffs. The next year, he became the MVP. But having the opportunity to sit back and kind of see what's out there, he got those few games, and then, bam, this is 0-4. With one more game now in the season makes it 17.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.